And we'd like to welcome everybody into season two, the season premiere of Coach Carnes' Corner, starring Jarrett Carnes, the head coach of the Liberty basketball team in Bethlehem. Coach, it's hard to believe. It seemed like just a few weeks ago we were signing off and talking about state playoffs a few weeks ago, and yet here we are. We're recording this right before the start of a brand new season of high school basketball in Eastern Pennsylvania, and we're just about ready to go. But how have you been? How was your summer? And how was your extended family's holiday?
Yeah, so season came around quick, like you said. I feel like we were just talking about state playoffs, and now we're back here, and we get a fresh season to start, fresh slate for everybody out there. But holiday was good. I had a good time with my family, my girlfriend and her family, and now just the grind continues. I mean, we've been dealing with tryouts, getting everything ready for then the start of practice and regular season. We had a scrimmage last night. Now we'll just have practice the rest of the way out until we see Bethlehem Catholic next Wednesday.
And Jared and I even coordinated Christmas trees, so we had that in the background to get everybody in the holiday spirit as we embark on another brand new season of high school basketball. Jared, you mentioned the scrimmage, so let's start there. It seems like every sports season, every year, the preseason gets shorter. Maybe talk a little bit about your scrimmage last night. It's the only one you have time for because we're already up against the start of the season already. What do you look for? What are your colleagues looking for? And how do you prepare with a seemingly very short preseason before the season actually gets underway?
Just trying to get everybody on the same page, and I know that that's difficult for some teams because you may not have a lot of returning girls. Actually, worked out in our favor because we do have a lot of returning girls. We have seven seniors in the mix there. Um, but last night, I liked what I saw. I mean, we have to polish up some things. We don't want to get too high or too low based off of what we saw last night. But we're gonna just continue to grind. We got practice tonight, and make sure that we're ready for our home opener, like I said, against Bethlehem Catholic next week.
You mentioned that you have a bunch of seniors back. It seems like a lot of teams around the Lehigh Valley lost some very important parts of their puzzle from last year. Lost a senior or two to graduation, but a lot of teams, yourself, Central Catholic, Easton, you pretty much go right down the list. Parkland, Nazareth, a lot of players coming back this year. Is this going to be an even more interesting season this year coming up because you have so many returning players? You all know each other so well. You've all been around now. Talk a little bit about the matchups this year because it seems, for the most part, it's going to be the same teams that competed last year for titles once again this winter.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it'll be an exciting year. I think there's a little more balance in the league now. There's some upcoming teams that'll give some teams a run for their money. A team that I had an eye on that was in the mix last year, but I definitely see doing a great job this year is Emmaus. That's definitely been one of the teams that is on my radar. But then, like you said, Central Catholic, you got Parkland, you got Easton, Bethlehem Catholic. Some of those teams there definitely will be competing for some hardware towards the end of the season.
Yeah, you're right. Emmaus last year surprised some people, at least the first half of the year. They won't be surprising anyone this year. And of course, Northampton always gets into the mix. Jeff Jackson does a great job there, and year in and year out, his team is always there come postseason time. But the season is just about ready to get underway. You mentioned Bethlehem Catholic. Of course, they lost Jose Medina over the offseason, but they have a brand new coach in there, and I've heard a lot of great things about him. The new program, a lot of young talent at Bethlehem Catholic, too. So I don't think they're going to be dropping off anytime soon, and they're going to be right there in the mix again this year.
Not at all. Coach Arnold's been around them for quite some time with Jose, so he's familiar with the girls. So I don't see them slowing down at all. I mean, they always have a good program season in, season out. Um, I give a quick shout out actually to Coach Arnold. I mean, I know he's been around in the mix, but first year head coach now for Bethlehem Catholic. Another first year head coach is James Middleton over in Whitehall, former standout with Easton basketball and football, and Deanna Radio over at Freedom. So just want to, I mean, I was in their shoes not too long ago with it only being my third season. So just want to give them their flowers and I wish them the best of luck.
How do you look at the first month of the season? Obviously, wins are always important too, but all the good coaches always say you want to ramp up and start playing your better basketball when you get to January and then early February before the playoffs start. But December is important too. So, what are you and some of the other coaches kind of looking for? You have some league games coming up. You have the holiday tournaments at the end of the month. What do you look to see from your team, and what do you look for in general over the next 30 days?
We just want to continue to get better every day, whether that's, I mean, we have back-to-back games or we're talking about back-to-back practices or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to be playing your better basketball at the end of the season, kind of like how we were at the end of our season last year. We went on a run in districts and ended up in the district final and states. But you definitely want to play well early because you don't want to have any games kind of um, bite you in the rear towards the end of the season and you don't make EPCs or you don't get in the district tournament. So you definitely want to collect your wins. Um, but just stay in the course, making sure everybody's together, having each other's backs. I've been preaching communication, communication, communication. So it translates to on the floor, not just um, like a social thing, but um, yeah, you want to get those W's early, and then I know some teams are playing their holiday tournaments, and they'll see teams that are in the EPC. I'm not a huge fan of that, so I'm taking my girls up to Riverside, and that tournament will be us, Riverside, West Scranton, and Abington Heights. You want to see some different teams. You know, like if you get into EPC's districts, you're going to see those teams that either are in your division or in the conference. Um, and I scheduled us to go down to Philly to play in the PA Girls Hoops Classic. And actually, there's other local teams that are playing in that too. So Parkland, I know, is in it, and also Central Catholic. I'm not too sure with who they're matched up with, but we'll see Archbishop Ryan. And they have like I think 7 or 8 games that day at that venue down at the School of the Future in Philly. So that's something that we're looking forward to. But we're excited that it's here. We're going to continue to grind, and hopefully at the end of the year, we can make a push in EPC tournament finally because we haven't made that yet while I've been here, and then also districts and hopefully maybe states.
You mentioned you have 7 seniors on this year's team. Does it make it a little bit easier for you because you know the players so well already? They're used to playing with each other. They had a good rhythm, as you said, at the end of last year that carried over through the summer basketball season. Did you find the preseason, especially with a shorter preseason this year, was a little bit easier having those people coming back, or was there still a lot of work to do trying to mix in some of those other spots on the roster?
So it's great to have the seniors around. They've been around me now for 3 years, so kind of everybody in the program now has been under our umbrella. Um, but there's some things that we have to work on. We're putting in some new stuff too, so it's not as familiar with the seniors and the rest of the girls. But their leadership is tremendous. That senior group there in this class of 2024, they're close, so they've been playing together for a while, so they're used to each other. So that is going to be a benefit for us down the stretch in the season.
I know something you want to do going forward with your podcast here is to try to put the spotlight on a lot of the local players that give standout performances or are having really good standout seasons as the year goes on. I'm not looking for the best players right now that you think will be standing out the most in 23 and 24, but do you see any teams or any groups of players that are kind of intriguing or kind of storylines to keep an eye on, especially early in the year? Maybe some younger players or younger teams to see how they develop. Everyone talks about the EPCs, plays at a high speed, a high level of play. Is there any teams to keep an eye on early in the year, aside from the usual top 6, 7, 8 teams that we normally see come the second half of the year?
I like Diriff. I like Whitehall. I know Northampton is losing Lesko and Yellen, so I don't know about their younger class, but I mean they're coached very well, so they'll probably be in the mix as well. But teams that aren't getting enough recognition, I think, is definitely in my eyes is Diriff and Whitehall. Coach well, and they have some younger girls now that have been playing at the varsity level, so they have some experience. Um, so those two teams I would definitely keep an eye on throughout the year. And then some players just to give you, I mean, as far as who's returning, that was either first, second, or third team in the EPC. You have Molly Driscoll from Central Catholic, CC Hernandez from Bethlehem Catholic, um, Evelise Cole from Easton, the Elias twins from Easton, uh, Madison Siggins and Talia Zarinkis from Parkland. They're great players. Also coached well by Coach Olson. Our own Ava Kopetsky. You have Sam Baker from Nazareth. And then there's a freshman that people want to keep their eye on from Emmaus, Kayla Snyder. She's definitely gonna make some noise as a freshman this year. Also coached well by Kelsey Gallagher over there at Emmaus. So just some players to keep an eye on, some teams to keep an eye on, but should be a great competitive season. There's a lot of talent in the EPC Lehigh Valley with the girls, and they don't get enough recognition. So that's why I'm thankful that we're able to do this and kind of give them a platform and just get some more coverage out there.
Yeah, we're happy to do that as well. And since you mentioned coverage, I'll put in a quick plug too. Astound, we're going to be doing more girls basketball games than we've ever done before. More high school basketball in general coming up this winter. More wrestling this winter, and even more girls wrestling. That's brand new, sanctioned by PIAA last year. So we're anxious to do more girls wrestling coming up over the next couple months. And I think one of your games is going to be against Nazareth. So that'll probably be a war right around the middle of January. So we'll be looking forward to that in a couple of weeks, plus some other big news concerning our network that'll be available on our website. But as we kind of get close to the start of the season and wrap up your season two season premiere, any other things that you want to keep an eye on this year or give shout outs or things people should keep an eye on in terms of local basketball this year heading into December of 2023?
I just want to wish everybody, players, coaches, fans, schools, the communities, just a nice, happy, healthy season. Wish everybody could be as successful as they want. And just let us go out there and compete. It's that time of year, so I'm excited. And I know players and coaches, they're excited too to see their girls out there and get going. So, like I said, I'm thankful you guys are letting me do this and get the coverage out there on the girls. More to come as the season starts. I know some teams are playing this weekend, Friday or Saturday. We won't start until next week, but definitely excited for it to get going.
Well, we're excited to have you on again. Another season fast upon us here, season two of Coach Carnes' Corner. And thanks so much for being a part of this and getting the message out. We really appreciate your insights. And I'll wish you a happy holiday and Merry Christmas now. It'll seem like just a couple weeks and we'll be back together again for episode two this year.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoy, and let's get ready for the season to start.
Sounds good. We'll see you again at Coach Carnes' Corner again in a couple weeks.